There are many, but I'm just going to talk about three this tonight. One is depression. Depression is that continuous feeling of sadness and despair. And I'm not going into the medical, psychological terms of it. I'm just speaking from the biblical standpoint. But you know, science and the Bible have come together. Those that intended to prove science was right and the Bible was wrong have become believers, most of them. The second one is irritability. You're lashing out at other people. Anger just bubbles up and affects everything and everybody around you. And many times, Gladys, leaves you feeling guilty because of it. Because you're saying, I couldn't control myself, so I'm angry with myself, and you feel guilty. And the third one is stress. You keep replaying over and over again the hurt. So much so that your soul is just all stressed out. Your mind, your will, and your emotions. Beloved, do you know that stress can manifest into physical sickness and illnesses? Hey, Anthony, we're talking about heart wounds. So the three, just three that I'm touching on tonight: depression, irritability, and stress. Now, some of you, I can hear you saying it now. You may not want to say it out loud, but I hear you saying it. Dr. Val, I'm experiencing probably all of these or some of these. But that's what ordinary people do. It's just an ordinary thing. Stop right there for a minute, beloved. First of all, if you are a child of the King, you are not ordinary. You are a member of the royal family, and your Father created the universe. You are God's masterpiece and made in his image. So I'm turning that lie around. You are not ordinary. You don't have to act like the world acts. You can act like a royal citizen of the King. Now that I have that lie out of the way, let's look at depression, irritability, and stress that is unchecked, that is untreated, that is uncontrolled, and erupts in anger, abuse, addiction, sexual sin, negative behaviors, on and on and on. That's the heart wounds come in. Not that we have these life things that happen day in and day out, that we do sometimes feel sad. We do sometimes lash out. We do sometimes get stressed. But it is not our norm. It doesn't etch in our heart. You deal with it and it goes away. But heart wounds is when these go unchecked. Listen to what Paul tells us about his own heart wounds in Romans 7:15. Someone please put it in the chat for me. Hey, Patrina, welcome back. Romans 7:15. Listen what Paul says. This is profound. Now, you know that Paul wrote 2/3 of the New Testament. So we're not talking about, I almost want to say some ordinary man, but I'll leave that alone. This is what he said. He says, I don't really understand myself. For I want to do what is right, but I don't do it. Instead, I do what I hate. Let me go back to that again. Romans 7:15. Paul, who wrote 2/3 of the New Testament, says, I don't really understand myself. For I want to do right, but I don't do it. Instead, I do what I hate. Can anybody relate to that? Can anybody relate to the time when you wanted to do right, knew what was right to do, but instead you did wrong and you hated yourself because of it? Beloved, unhealed, undealt with heart wounds. That's what's at the bottom. That's what's at the root of it. That's what's at the foundation of it. Unhealed heart wounds.